I want to therefore put two questions together. Who did better in poverty alleviation and who's done better when it comes to job creation? These are contentious issues. We can throw various numbers. One number recently in an article by economist Ashok Gulati quoting ILO was 2004 to 14 UPA times 8.4% unemployment, 2014 to 24 7.9%. When I look at labor force participation rate, clearly there are concerns, especially among women labor participation. Yes, it's come up a bit because you're also including unpaid labor as employment, but given that and given poverty alleviation, where between 2014 and 2005-6 to 2015-16, 27.1 crore people were lifted out of poverty. This is based on multi-dimensional poverty, source being UNDP. Source of Niti Aayog saying 2015-16 to 2019-21, 24.8 crore people were lifted out of poverty. So, I just want to understand from both of you, starting with you, Mr. Tharoor, again, this is an issue that the opposition raises, that the government hasn't created enough jobs. The government hits back and says, look, we've done reasonably well. Look at our EPFO data. Look at the fact that many more people have registered for jobs, suggesting that it isn't as grim as you make it out to be. And here you've got Jayant Sinha saying, if it was so grim, why are people still voting for us?
They're voting, unfortunately, for the BJP on other issues. After the disasters of demonetization, where people suffered terribly, they voted for the government because it became a national security election after Pulwama and Balakot. Tomorrow, the BJP is seeking votes in the name of the Ram Mandir. Let's be very realistic. It's not, unfortunately, the BJP has been brilliant at getting voters to stop thinking about their self-interest and instead vote some sort of sense of national pride, Hindu pride, identity pride, and so on. That's nothing. I mean, that argument is the most specious of the arguments possible because it is not actually answering the economic questions which are hurting people. But coming back to your specific questions, unemployment rates. According to the CMIE, our current unemployment rate is 8.7%, which is higher than any time in the UPA era. But what is worse is the unemployment rate amongst youth aged 20 to 24. That's at a record 45.4% in fiscal year 22-23. We've seen a situation where under the BJP, as recently, if you take all the unemployment overall, instead of 8.1, in October it hit 9.4%. So 8 to 9% seems to have become a kind of new normal. In the last year, 2023, the unemployment rate was averaging throughout between 8 and 9%. And the unfortunate truth is that even where jobs have grown, they've grown in financially precarious areas like construction work and low-end service roles, and agriculture and manufacturing jobs have actually dropped. So you're not really seeing any decent employment. If you look at educated people, for example, educated unemployment has worsened really badly, with rising from 19.2% in the UPA era to 35.8% under the NDA, and postgraduates have gone up to 36.2%. This is not exactly a healthy situation. We've had 135 million workers added to the economy since 2018. Mm-hmm. During this time, the economy has created just 5 million formal jobs. A formal job is one that pays a regular salary and offers at least one social security benefit.
Jayant Sinha, you will recall the opposition continuously targets the government, saying the Prime Minister promised 2 crore jobs a year. The government says, please, at no stage was such a promise made. It is the opposition is not telling the entire truth on it. But the fact is, unemployment has been a big challenge, especially rural unemployment. The same Manrega that you all dissed when you all were in the opposition has now become almost a flagship scheme for the government. So when the Prime Minister speaks, for example, of the latest acronym, speaking of about Garib, about the Annadata, about women, that's Nari, and youth, the truth is unemployment is a big challenge.